Hey guys, it's the number one Grosjean fan in the world here, Dan from F1 Reviews, and welcome to Formula 1 Youtubers Decoded.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to F1 Youtubers Decoded. Today, I'm joined by one of the most popular F1 YouTubers around. Dan, or F1 Reviews, has been on YouTube for 2 years and already has over 18,000 subscribers. He reveals his old YouTube channel and the reasons why he left that one to start his current one. I ask him how he got into both Formula 1 and Formula E, and even ask him a few tricky questions along the way. Oh, and yes, we do talk about that man, Romain Grosjean. So Dan, thank you for that really good intro. Certainly number one Grosjean fan. Certainly got a lot to talk about that. First of all, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm really good, thanks mate. I'm better than good. I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me, buddies. The episodes so far have been brilliant, so
Thank you so much.
hopefully we can have a good conversation today.
Really, I'm hoping so. I have enjoyed everyone I've done so far, and this one I've been looking forward. I look forward to all of them, but yours as well. You know, you're a big fan of the show or the series, as you were saying. So this makes it even that bit better, I believe. Really can't wait. I really can't wait for it. So, and I hope, of course, people do learn more about yourself. Not too personal, of course. We don't want to go too personal now, but I hope some fans will go, oh yeah, I know a bit more about Dan, because like I said to you before we started recording, I don't know much about you. So this is going to be a learning curve for myself as well as people who follow your YouTube channel. And on the subject of YouTube, this is where I'm going to start. So obviously you do YouTube, I do YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We like YouTube, don't we? That's what we do.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? So,
it's alright.
Yeah. So, what made you start YouTube, first of all? Did you have anyone that influenced you to start in the first place? Did you follow any YouTubers in particular, whether that was Formula 1 or another category? Or did you just thought, you know what, I like Formula 1, I'm just going to put some videos on YouTube and see how it goes?
Oh man, this is a long question, long answer.
Yes.
So hopefully you're ready for this one. No, so already a fact I think most people won't know about me. This isn't my first YouTube venture.
No.
This is technically my third, which sounds awful. First two weren't very successful. No, so like most little kiddies, born in the late 90s and early 2000s, when I was younger, I had a YouTube channel. Just uploaded clips. I would record my TV and a game. Awful waste of time. 10 subs. You've all got to start somewhere though.
Oh, you do.
Then I then must have been starting secondary school, maybe year 8. So squeaky voice kind of time. And me and my brother, being little Call of Duty nerds that we were, we wanted to do a channel together. So I know you and Lyle aren't brothers, but a similar kind of thing where we'd work together and do a channel.
Yeah.
And that gem of a channel was called We Mad Bros. I know, nice and cringy.
Wow, that is good.
It's all still up as well. Yeah, oh man, it's not... it's all still up. I think maybe about 200 videos of pure cringe, some real Formula 1 2012 online gold of a squeaky little F1 reviews. Oh, I don't mind talking about it though, because like I say, you've got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to find my niche on that channel. It was mainly gaming, as most little kids' channels are.
Yeah.
And I do a bit of Call of Duty, a little bit of let's try to think of another one. Mario Kart. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Bit of everything. Mm-hmm. But the big one that really hit off for me was good old Minecraft.
Oh,
and
I love Minecraft. Brilliant game.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Minecraft as much as, someone who's 20 years old probably shouldn't be admitting to that. But the issue for me at the time was that it started to do really well. So actually my F1 reviews, my highest viewed video isn't as high as my Minecraft series was doing on my old channel. Mm-hmm. But the issue was, I just hated it. I just had little kids, 7 years old, constantly nagging. Oh my God. Minecraft. I couldn't deal with it, and I was only 15, 16 at the time.
Uh-huh.
And I just got so tired of it. And I thought, you know what? I did do Formula One, but a couple of league racing videos, a couple of funny montages that I look back now weren't very funny. But I thought, you know what? I just love F1. I want to give F1 a go.
Oh,
and
nice.
you in your question there, you said about inspirations.
Yeah.
I'm a big Star Wars nerd, me, big kid all round. And there's this channel called Hello Greedo, and he's got about 200,000 subscribers, and it's nothing to do with Star Wars, but he always says, just if you want to do a channel, first of all, just go ahead and do it. And if anyone that's listening now want a bit of advice, just start it. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're the same, Jordan.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what, just find your niche, and if you've got something to say, just say it. And I thought, yeah. And he also said, make sure you enjoy it. And I thought that was the big thing I was missing. So I thought, you know what, let's talk Formula One. And I started 25th of November 2017, which was the day after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for that season. And my first video was literally just me reacting to the new Formula One logo, because I quite liked it, and online people were saying they weren't liking it. They were saying it was awful. I said, you know what, I thought it was pretty good. Then I did a video a couple of days later. I think it got 60 views or so, the first video. I thought, oh, that's okay. That's better than my other channel for Formula One videos. So I thought, let's just do another one. And for a while, I'd say maybe for half a year, I did the two alongside each other. And as Formula One, even though it wasn't as big, I just loved it, man.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I caught the bug so much, and
You were addicted.
I'm sure we'll talk. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later on. But I've always pretty much been a Formula One fan. So to be able to not only talk about F1 on YouTube for a hobby, but for people to just generally be interested, even at, you'll know about this, just those first few subscribers and those first few comments, just the fact that they've listened to something I've said was awesome, and it was so much better than screaming little kids wanting me to build Minecraft. So yeah, and now I'm at the stage where it's, I do university, I have a part-time job, and my hobby is still YouTube, but I absolutely love it. And I look at people like, I suppose my inspiration now would be someone like Will Buxton, who, I mean, I love Will Buxton, he's awesome, but the fact that you can see he loves Formula One, and if I can just keep doing this, just my little bit on the side, I enjoy it, but to be able to still have that passion is awesome. So I think that's answered your question there, mate.
Yeah, I think you went into really good detail as well. Like, it's just really nice listening. Just, I could hear the passion and the excitement of going back in those days of when you first started out. It's slowly seeping out of you just a little bit. I can hear it as well. I'm just like, no, keep going, mate, for as long as you want.
I think it's just because the grind.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I haven't had a chance to say this in person, but congratulations on hitting 1,000.
Oh, thank you.
You guys have been grinding so hard for so long, and I know, luck always comes into it to a certain part.
Oh, absolutely.
I can tell you two, I know in one of your episodes you said, halfway through this year you're a little bit iffy, but just finding that motivation can be hard. So I'm so happy for you guys, because you're awesome, and you can see how much you love F1.
Yes, it's a sport like no other, as I like to call it. It's a sport I'll probably never get bored of. Like on this side, I don't want to go. I don't want to go too much into me about this, but I'll just say it quickly. Cool. My two main sports are football and Formula One. And I could easily stop watching football, but I couldn't stop watching Formula One. I've got to know what's going on in practice. I've got to know what's going on in qualifying. I can't miss qualifying. I can't miss the race. I'll literally say to my girlfriend, "Look, I'm gonna have to go home." Oh, why? Because there's a Grand Prix to watch. Like, genuinely,
exactly.
Seriously, that's how bad it is. But
yeah, I've said no working on Saturday or Sunday. So we have a family beach shop. There you go. There's a nugget for you that no one probably expecting.
Yeah,
that's where I work I used to work at weekends. Now I've said no weekends, because halfway through the day it would come on the radio and it'd be spoiled, and I can't be having that. So
nothing
I know
worse. Nothing. Do you know when people are like, I was trying to think, like when Game of Thrones was on, or like a big TV series would be going, and like there was no spoilers. I think that what's the other one? Oh man. Oh, the Avengers, the Endgame, I think it was.
Endgame.
I'd say I'm not a big fan of the Marvel series, but a lot of people like.
Hot take.
Sorry, I know you are, but I'll get onto that.
Not huge, but it's okay.
A little bit, but yeah, and people were like, "Oh, like no spoilers," and when people would be spoiling, they'll be like, "Oh, getting angry." But
Yeah.
then when I would say to people, "Oh, look, I'll be at work," and then the 3 o'clock news will come on. I'll turn off the radio in case it says Hamilton pole, because the
Yeah.
chances are they will. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't want to know the result of qualifying." Well,
Yeah, I had to go
oh,
to Sky this year. I couldn't do another year at Channel 4.
Oh my god! And they'll be like, "Oh, why?" They'll be like asking us why, and I'm like, "Well, hang on a minute. When you don't want to know the next episode of a Netflix show you watch, you're like, oh no, I'm keeping away from social media." And then that's the same with me, just with Formula One. It's crazy, isn't it? It's trying to get people, trying to explain Formula One to people. They just don't get it, do they? Non-fans, anyway, non-fans. One of your most popular series, and a series that I really like. I like this kind of format in any YouTube channel, whether it's F1 or another one. I can't think of any on the spot, but a channel that isn't Formula One is your weekly Q&As. I love a Q&A. I love listening to it, especially if it's a guy that I really like. So normally when people do Q&As, they normally do it for a special occasion. Like we're doing it for 1,000 subscribers. People do it for 10,000, 15, or whatever, 1 million. You do it more or less every week, don't you?
Yeah.
And you started this, I think when you hit 500 subscribers, which is about 4 months after you started YouTube.
Oh, this is good. You've really been doing some digging.
Oh, absolutely.
Well done, my friend.
So I've got 2 questions about this. So first one, how much is that series? I believe that's a very popular series. I was actually reading the comments on your first video that you did it, and you got a lot of feedback and a lot of questions from just one episode. And obviously your channel was still quite young then. So has that been a good boost for your channel? Have you got many people through the door because of that series? And the second question is, can you remember who asked you your first question?
Oh, no. To answer that second one, no, I cannot remember.
Well, I don't. I haven't wrote down the question. Again, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a guy called Scandinavian.
I do remember that man. Yeah, that does ring a bell. He used to ask questions all the time. I did a bit of league racing with him as well for a bit.
Oh, really?
Wow, that's memories, man.
There you go. See?
But no, the series, so obviously back in the days of 500 subscribers, it was just, I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier on. For me, when I started my channel, of course I wanted to talk about Formula One, but I really wanted to find that niche that someone else wasn't doing. So I know you've spoke in the last few episodes about no one was doing almost a joint channel, so you and Lyle doing it together. No one's really done that and given that unique way of doing it. So first of all, the big thing for me was Formula E. No one was doing Formula E whatsoever. I thought, you know what? I enjoy it. Let's give it a go.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, you know how it is. Finding ways to get yourself out there and do something new is so difficult these days in YouTube, and it gets harder and harder each week with more and more people joining. Don't get me wrong, I have no issue with people joining. It only makes you push yourself even more. That's cringy. But you know what I mean. So at the time I thought, well, no one's doing a Q&A. They're pretty popular in other, like you said earlier, other sports, other different genres. So why not give it a go? So I think I must have done about 10 episodes in the very beginning, maybe even less than that. And at the time, like I said, I was only on 500 or so subscribers, so I wasn't taking it ridiculously seriously, this channel at the time, because I still have my old channel. But yeah, like you say, it was building traction, and I think what it did for me anyway was just build, like you mentioned, Scandinavian there, just this core audience that would just watch every single time. And I can't remember when I stopped doing it, but eventually I thought, I'm going to run out of questions here. I don't know where this channel is going, so I stopped it. And then what must have been a solid year, I didn't do any. And the constant nagging to bring it back. I thought, yeah, you know what? At the time I thought, this is fine, but it's not getting the traction of other videos. Whereas, like you say now, I love it, man. Every week. I just recorded one a little bit earlier today, actually, this afternoon. I love it. And I had over 200 questions this week. I can't deal with it. And I'm so stunned. I never thought I'd be at the stage where people are having a go at me for not answering their question. It is so surreal, and I still remember. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when I used to send in questions to the likes of Alex Zaffro. Be like, please, Alex, answer my question. And to now be in that situation myself is so surreal. And the last few weeks, it's been awesome. Whereas in the early days, it was just something I'd do on the side. It wouldn't do very well. Like you say, now it's really taken off, and I love it. So I'm hoping to continue it. I think I'm on 24 or so weeks in a row now, which for me, to keep a series going that long is a borderline miracle.
It's very good. Just don't stop it just yet, because you might have people outside your house with pickaxes and torches going, why did you stop the series? So don't stop it just yet. Make sure it gets to about, I don't know, 1,000 videos, and then maybe go, okay, guys, I think it's ran its course now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a very popular series, and yeah, I absolutely love it. I really, really do.
Thank you.
I think we've appeared twice on your Q&As. I think one of them.
Keeping count.
One of them. The first one, I think we came like 5th or something. I think it was like the last question, or the second off last question.
That's a good place to be.
And then I remember the video that I remember the most. So I think I asked you about your YouTube past. It was me that sent in the question, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that question.
And it was the first. I remember getting in from work. I was sitting downstairs, and then I seen you uploading. I was like, oh, I'll watch the Q. And I was like, oh, but I asked a question. Oh, I'll see if he asks. And then literally, I was like listening to your video, but I was on my phone. I was on my phone. The YouTube was on the telly, and then I think you were like, the first question comes in from the F1 debate show, and I was like, I was still on my phone. I was just like, oh, that's us. Oh, we're first. Oh my god! I was like, you know, like pushing everywhere. No autographs today. No photos today. No, but it's a really good series. It's a really, really good series. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem as well. And the weird thing is, all right, about the channel as well, personally, is I never came across your channel till this year. I literally didn't know there was anybody else does that.
Yeah.
You know, post like podcasts or opinions or whatever. Not until like I came across Sean's Formula E channel, and then it just stemmed from there. I think the first time I heard about you was through his Formula E podcast, I believe. His live stream, I think.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was just like, immediately I was just like, I like this guy, Dan. I like this guy. He's really good. Straight away I was like, I think you and I think I was between you and Sean for a bit. Just go, I like this guy. Oh, but I like him. I like him too. Oh, it's great. But I know, but like I said, it's an absolutely solid series as well. And do you know what your most viewed video is on YouTube? On your Formula, this channel that you've got now?
Yeah. I do. It is a very clickbaity video discussing who will replace Sebastian Vettel. That is the most, and second most is a clickbaity video about Lance Stroll, and I don't know from there, but it's Sebastian Vettel who will replace him, with a lovely picture of Daniel Ricciardo in a Ferrari suit. Lovely clickbait there.
Very controversial as well. I think a lot of people were trying to do that, trying to get in on the act of the manic that was the 2018 driver transfer market. It was it was crazy. But did you get many people from that? Or was it just like the people that you gained from there? Like the subscribers that you already had, did they just kind of view the video, or did that also help your channel boost up the YouTube ladder a bit more?
Yeah, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's got a lovely amount of views, and it really did help. But that was in the summer of this year, and actually because I had a good summer. I'm thinking, because right, I'll stop rambling. I started this year with about 3,000.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I've
done well.
I've loved this year. But it was over that winter time when they were doing car releases, winter testing, and that started ramping it up. And then, like you say, I think I did a couple of videos about driver lineups, just to have a bit of fun, and they did well. And then I thought, well, I'll just people seem to like that, so I'll do another one, another one. It did well, and then, like you say, that one just seemed to really take off. And yeah, it helped me out. Not hugely, but that was a video, I think, that, like you say, I think for a lot of people, I was going to say put me on the map, but then I think a lot of things have really helped me. I think Sean taking the ridiculous gamble to put me on his,
well, it's worse because you get a subscriber from me for that. So
yeah, well, yeah, there you go. But
yeah.
I think him I did the first one with him at the end of 2018 summer break, and I really was a nobody back then. I had about 1,000, and he was a brave man for doing that, and I will never be able to thank him enough for just giving me that platform to get my stupid opinions out there. And I think that really helped. I think I definitely put down a lot of my success to that.
There's like no real pinpoint as to where you can say like it started. It just, like you said, like Sean got me on the show, and then I started this series, but then I did this video.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that you don't. There's all like little moments where you could say, well, this helped, and this helped, but I couldn't. There's no genesis really.
Yeah, because in Formula E season 5, all of a sudden everyone was interested in Formula E out of nowhere, and I was the only person covering it. So all of a sudden I got loads of people from that. So especially over 2019, it's every month it's just gone up and up and up. It's mad. And like I say,
think you've just hit. Have you just hit 18,000 recently?
Yeah, a couple of days ago. Yeah,
congratulations about that as well.
Thank you.
No problem at all. So like your other sport is Formula E as well, which we'll discuss a little bit later. But let's talk about the main sport, the big daddy of sport. Yeah, the daddy. Formula One. It's like we said before, it's a beautiful sport. It's got its good sides, and it's got its bad sides. The so-called fanboys, if you want to call them that. People who just like a particular driver, and if you say something bad about that particular driver, you get hammered.
Yeah.
I'm not little clue as to who I was on about there when I said hammered. So how did you get into Formula One originally? Because I think, if I'm correct in saying, you first started watching Formula One in 2006.
Yeah. Well, I always say 2006. I'm afraid it's not a particularly glamorous story. I know some people have awesome stories. Listening to you,
how I want to know, and it's just like I was walking past the shop, seen a race, and I thought, I like that.
Yeah, listening to you on the last episode of this with Raz, when you went to the event with school, I thought, blimey, that's so cool.
Oh, wow, you have watched it.
Yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. Wow. No, I mean, my family were always watched Formula One. I'll say that, and I say it a little bit strange because they're not die hard. They're not like us, super sweaties, where you've got to know every practice, you've got to know every qualifying.
Yeah.
It was my dad, and it was more just a thing to do on a Sunday, just to have a bit of a chill. So all I remember from those early days must have been 2004, 2005. I just remember liking the yellow car. That's literally it. I now know it's a Jordan, but back then I didn't really care. But the first race I actually remember, 2006, Hungary, JB's first victory.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember, rainy day, me and my brother watching F1. That never happens anymore.
Those days are gone.
But I remember quizzing my dad, saying, "Oh my God, Button, who's this Jenson Button guy? Is he going to win?" And my dad was like, "Yeah, he's never won before." And I remember when he passed Schumacher, or something happened. Again, memory's a little bit hazy. I just remember jumping up and down and screaming. So that's my first one. And then I'm pretty sure I've religiously watched Formula One since 2007. And what I was going to say, because I was having a little think about this the other day actually, and you said something in the last episode. Sorry, I'm digging up last episode,
okay.
But you mentioned about the Formula One game, and I think for me that had a similar kind of effect to you, where it was I really enjoyed Formula One, but when I was able to learn all the drivers, know all the tracks off by heart, that was just an extra element to it, and I would say I became a super sweaty probably around 2012. I think that was when I knew everything. I wanted to know everything. All my school homework had something to do with Formula One. Anytime I'm in English, I would write Formula One stories. So I think yeah. So slowly it builds up, and I mean, I never thought I'd get to the stage where I'm talking to strangers about Formula One. Um, but yeah, like you say,
Yeah.
it's awesome, and even for the awful bits. I mean, being a Grosjean fan in 2018 was not a pretty sight, but I don't mind. I absolutely love it. So, I
You just support who you want to support. Doesn't matter where. Oh,
exactly,
why does he support Grosjean? Well, because he wants to, right? Leave him
exactly.
alone.
Yeah. So I would say it was my
What
dad that really got me into it.
it's your dad. Yeah. Um, like I think everyone I've interviewed so far has said that their peak season was 2012. Everyone, and like
Yeah.
mine was probably 2011. I'm like, oh, should I say 2012 as well? But
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but like like you said, you started sort of following it about 2007. So like you kind of started at like the competitive era. So like
Yeah.
the days of Schumacher are now gone. Alonso had dominated the sport. Then you had Hamilton coming in, Alonso at McLaren, right in that really close year in '07,
Yeah.
and then a brilliant year in '08, and then sort of an alright year in '09, Button winning a
I
lot of
loved
the race
'09.
at the start, and then kind of see '09 is the season I can never I've got no recall
Really?
watching seriously. Like
Wow.
again,
Missing out.
I don't want to keep going off topic about myself, but
That's
like
cool.
in like 2006, 7, and 8, I can briefly remember because I used to watch Formula One at my grandparents' house, eat my
Yeah.
Sunday's dinner. I would just watch it. I didn't take any interest, but
Yeah.
like literally 2009 was a complete blur, and then 2010, I remember the Australian Grand Prix. I remember watching that. Then obviously the British Grand Prix where I went to. Then the last
Yeah.
race of the season. Then a couple of races like Korea 2010. I remember both Red Bulls retiring, Hamilton not winning the race, fuming at that. But seriously, '09 was a complete blur. So I must have watched about the '09 review about 4 or 5 times just to know what the hell was going on. Like seriously, but no, I mean, good year at start 2012. I miss those days. I really do.
Yeah.
What
Well,
2012 Formula One.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. '07, and I still watched every race and loved it, and I would still say 2007 is the one I watched. But 2012, I think, is when I really. I mean, spoiler alert. I'm a huge Lotus fan. I'm a fanboy for Lotus. I absolutely love them to bits, and hopefully they'll come back one day. But also, I was a Kimi
Hopefully.
Raikkonen fan beforehand, and obviously his teammate in 2012 was a certain Roman Grosjean. So I think that's why it just everything just sort of combined together in 2012 with the team I love, the game I knew so much about it, and even just going up to secondary school, just having people to talk about it. So yeah, 2012 was just so good. But 2007, that year was just. I'm so glad I got into F1 when I did.
It was a pivotal year, and I think it definitely drew a lot of people into Formula One because back in
Yeah,
those days you had free coverage on
yeah,
ITV, and then it moved over to BBC, which for me was the best lineup in TV coverage history, in my opinion. I know, we just missed the days of Murray Walker and stuff, but for me, who was commentator?
for
I can't remember who was
BBC or
commentator
for ITV. Sorry,
for BBC. I know it
um,
was Jonathan someone for ITV. I can't remember who was. Well, it was Brundle, wasn't it? It was Martin Brundle.
Brundle and Coulthard, I think, did a season together.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
But like
showing our age.
Jake, Jake Humphrey
He was
presenting
great.
it, and you had DC and Eddie Jordan in the pit lane. Oh man, Ted Kravitz. Oh man,
That was
they were the
peak.
days.
That doesn't get
They
better
were.
than
I mean,
that.
I know Ted Kravitz left for Sky in 2012, but in 2011, 2010, 2009, they were the best.
Yeah.
You will never ever beat them.
No.
So moving on from Formula One, I'm going to ask you kind of the similar question because about Formula E, because your channel, in a way, it is unique because you discuss about two sports, Formula One and Formula E.
Yeah.
So how did you get into Formula E? Have you watched it from the very start since I think it was September 2014, the first race?
I think so.
So have you? I think it was because I remember watching it going. I think before a race that day in Formula One, I watched it going. I hate this sport. I'm not watching this ever again. But so, what's your story with Formula E? How did you get into it? Did you like from the very beginning, or was it like from season 3 or something like that?
You know what? This is. I hate telling this story, and Formula E fans don't like this story.
Did they not?
I didn't know about Formula E when it started. in 2014. No, I wasn't even aware it was a thing.
I couldn't get away from it.
Well,
Seriously?
I think it was just because, like I say, I mean, now obviously I do the channel, so I'm just looking for any bit of information. Whereas back in the day, I didn't have a nice iPhone or a nice laptop, so I wasn't really in that world of constant. I mean, I've only just got Twitter this year. I'm behind. I'm an old man.
Wow.
So, but what it was, and this is awful. I found Formula E channel surfing. It was one day we got a new TV set. We swapped to Virgin Media. We were BT before, they were rubbish. So we swapped to Virgin Media and we got all these hundreds of channels. And I was flicking through and I saw this Formula E. I was like, oh, what's that? I'll give it a go. And I couldn't tell you what race it was. I think it was probably Season 2 Germany at the Tempelhof Airport. And there was just so many crashes. And I do love a crash. Don't and that sounds so bad when I say that. I always say that on my own channel when people have a go at me. But it's pretty cool seeing a crash. But it was all the time. And I thought, oh, this is pretty good. Oh, it's Buemi. It's De Graaf. I know these people.
Yeah.
So afterwards, I thought, you know what, I'll keep up with this. And probably for the rest of Season 2, I wasn't really religious. Season 3, likewise. And then Season 4, just in the build-up, I just became really interested in it and thought, you know what, I'm going to watch it all this year. I then started the channel and thought, you know what, no one else is doing it. I'm going to cover it. So it's a pretty boring story, but ever since now, it's
still a story.
It's still a story. And I've watched every race since, and they're so great to work with. I mean, Formula One, the dinosaurs there are, they're only just getting into YouTube themselves. Formula E, I mean, they've reached out to me. They let me put highlights on my own channel. They let me go to the race in Rome and go to the paddock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the peak for my channel. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I have or whatever. Just
they invited you.
Yeah, and go into that race. And
you did a documentary, not documentary, like a season 5 kind of video about it, like a season review, I think it was.
Yeah, just even that, man. Just being able to do a whole season review, just them allowing me to do that. It's just mad because I'm a nobody. I'm just in my room. I'm just some kid who's in my room in the middle of nowhere, hundreds of miles away from London. Just, I mean, I'm from Devon, so people are used to farming here, and that's about it. So to be able to just be given that opportunity and to be able to go to Rome. I mean, I've only been abroad a handful of times, but just to do that was awesome. So Formula E, although in the early days, don't get me wrong, I got a lot of abuse for doing Formula E. Season 4 was it was really difficult. People telling me how awful it is, and
oh my god,
even giving me abuse. I don't want to be a cry pie here, but just that constant nagging about Formula E, and even going into Season 5, people weren't happy. And I got to the stage where at the beginning of my videos, I would say, look, I understand some of you don't like Formula E, but Season 6, actually, people have been telling me off for doing that because it doesn't happen anymore. So just being there in that transition from the Gen 1 car and when fan boost was a real thing, it's not really anymore, the car swaps, things like that, which people hated, and now moving into what I think is slowly becoming a respectable sport, I've absolutely loved.
It is a growing sport. Like I said before, I remember watching the first race and thinking, this is awful, I hated it. And then it wasn't until... Wait, is the season we've just had Season 5 or 6?
Yeah, Season 5, yeah.
Season 5 we've just had. I watched the first 5 races, I think, and then it got to a point where the races would clash with work, and I would see the results, and then I'll be like, well, what's the point in watching it?
Yeah.
But like, I started getting into it because I like the look of the cars. There were some Formula 1 drivers moving over to Formula E, and I thought, and of course it was on BBC. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So I thought I would give it a go, and I really enjoyed it. And I will be looking to do, hopefully, to do the same again for Season 6, which you've got Mercedes in, you've got Porsche in, BMW. I love that livery.
That's brilliant.
I love it. I haven't got I think I haven't got a favourite driver, but I might go for Nick de Vries because, random story, can you remember McLaren Tuned?
Yeah,
when they did that in 2012?
Yeah, good old McLaren Tuned.
Me and Lyle used to always just laugh about Nick de Vries. Hi, Prof. So And then about a year later, we found out he was a real person because we were like, we've never heard of him. Is he real? And then we were like, oh my god, he's real. He's real.
That's
and then
awesome.
ever since then, he's been like a funny type of favorite driver. So I thought when I heard he was going to Formula E, I thought I must follow Nick de Vries. I have to.
That is such a good story.
It is, isn't it? Honestly, I've got some weird stories. But so a quick question about kind of the two sports. So I'm going to put you in a situation, right?
Oh God.
So let's say you get a message from a fan of your channel, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this kid, let's call him, I don't know, Joseph, right?
Okay.
Randomly.
Already
so Joseph sends you. He's slowly getting into Formula One, but at the same time, he's slowly getting into Formula E. He's watched a bit of the sport briefly, let's say, right? He doesn't know too much about. He knows the big boys, but he doesn't know much about them both. So he asks you. He goes, Dan, I've watched Formula One for a bit. I watched Formula E for a bit, but I want to follow one sport religiously. Which one would you tell him to go for, and why? Like, he could only follow one sport. He couldn't follow the other sport religiously. You had to follow one.
Yeah. Oh, you horrible man.
Would it be Formula One? Would it be Formula E?
Wow. Well played. What a question. Man. It's got to be Formula One.
Yeah.
And I always say this as well, because I always do more Formula One content, mainly because there's more of an audience, but I say this as well because obviously there's the big debate: what will happen when Formula One has to go electric? The answer is no one knows. There is that clause with Formula E, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But to answer your question and to stop avoiding it's got to be Formula One because that's the pinnacle. And as much as Formula E gets the nickname, which isn't very nice, a Formula One retirement home, at the moment that's what it is. And I'm sure in 10, 15 years down the line, it will change. And even with Nick de Vries going to Formula E, because there's not enough seats in Formula One, change is slowly happening there. So I think it will potentially change over time. But the big thing I always say that Formula One has, and Formula E unfortunately won't ever be able to attain like Formula One has, is history. I mean, there is endless Formula One content you can divulge in. You can, like you said earlier on, the season reviews. Formula E, there's no season reviews. Mine's the only one. I mean,
so there you go. Very unique in that way.
Well,
There's one of you that does it.
Yeah, but you don't want to be listening to me. You want to look at real things. You want to look at archives. You want to look at stories. There's no, even just, I don't know, a Pastor Maldonado winning in Formula One, just finding out little nuggets like that is really cool. And even now, obviously, when we're recording this, just this weekend gone, Hamilton's picked up his 6th world title. Sorry if people are getting wound up, people are constantly saying that, but this is history in the making. Whereas Formula E, Vern's just picked up his 2nd title, and it's great. He's the first one to pick up 2 titles, but compared to 6, 7, I mean Fangio on 5, that history, and when people say, oh, you can't compare Fangio to Hamilton, which you can't, Formula E, well, you can, and it's just, don't get me wrong, I love them both, but for me, that history element in Formula One, you'll never be able to take away, and that'll always be my baby, Formula One. They call it the pinnacle for a reason, and I know the manufacturers are all going to Formula E, but it would not surprise me if Formula One did go electric, they would all jump back. It really wouldn't, but time will tell, but yeah, Formula One is still my baby.
Yeah, you can't take away all that history of Formula One, definitely. I think for me, 50s and 60s was probably the best era of the sport in terms of driving, in my opinion, because when you think about as to how the cars were way back then, you know what I mean? Like
pure driving.
They were just so pure driving. It was like, if you crashed, chances are you were going to die.
Yeah.
It's dark as it sounds, but in Formula E, it was like a blank canvas and just go, right, okay, what the mistakes we learned from Formula One, let's just do this for Formula E. Let's just start blank and hope that we don't like make silly mistakes, because I think when Formula E started, or when they were testing it, Formula One had just went to V6s, and then the response they got from that was awful.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a good time for Formula E to come about, because people were starting to hate Formula One because of the way the cars looked and how Mercedes were dominating, and it was just like, oh, we've had the Vettel era, now here comes the Mercedes era, the Hamilton era, and it was a bit of a dull time as well. And of course I don't want to bring it up, but the tragic death of Jules as well. It wouldn't have helped the Formula One stance with the general public. So I think Formula
Yeah.
E came about at a good time, but then again, people were complaining about the noise, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
if the racing's good but the noises are bad, then you're not watching it for the noise. You're watching it for the race, because you're not going to say, oh, how was the race? It was all right, but the noises were they were awful. Like you know what I mean? It's just,
exactly.
it's just weird. But I think Formula E has got a really big future. It does, and I don't really want people to compare them both, where they say, oh, well, Formula E's doing this and Formula One's doing that. It's like, let Formula E be its own sport.
Yeah.
Let it be its Le Mans. Let it be its IndyCar. Let it be its own little series, rather than being compared and linked to Formula One like it is constantly.
Yeah, and
because I understand why they're linked, because
yeah, of course,
you've got drivers and teams and stuff who were in Formula One. Team personnel like Susie Wolff, of course, she was heavily involved in Formula One. I think she's Venturi.
Yeah,
Venturi,
well done. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm getting there. So she's the team principal of that as well. And I think more females will come through Formula E than Formula One. I do think that. I think they have had a female driver before, haven't they?
Yes, back in, this is testing my knowledge. I know it was, and I'm going to say her name wrong as well. Simona De Silvestro, I think is her name. And I think they've had more than one, But like I said, those early few seasons, the drivers changed so quickly. They'd race for 1 or 2 races, and then we'll have someone else in. Oh, blimey, that stumped my knowledge. But like you say, it depends what you're looking for in racing, because obviously modern Formula One overtaking is such a pain in the backside to be able to witness. But in Formula E, it's all the time. You're going to get constant overtakes. But even like you said, they're completely different things. Formula E, all on a Saturday. That 45-minute races, for some people, that's quick, that's digestible. And Formula E is focused on making it street circuits. And I can kind of see it in the future, although Formula One has its Monacos and Singapores. It wouldn't surprise me if they were both electric, and Formula E was the street racing championship, and Formula One was the circuit racing championship with a couple mixed in. But like you say, they're completely different things, and it wouldn't surprise me if they got even more unique and even more further apart, even if they still have electric engines, both of them, or powertrains, as you should call them.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how these two sports will evolve, because 2021's coming up with Formula One, Formula E. What's going to happen? Gen 3, are they going to come about sooner rather than later? What's happening with that? And of course, like you said, the contract that they've got electric engines for 50 years, I believe. I think Raz told me that.
Yeah. I think it's 25.
Which I didn't know. Or was it 25?
I think it's 25, but these contracts, they're behind closed doors. You never know what's going on. And I also think they're not silly at Formula E. It's a contract. We know that Formula One drivers have contracts. There's always a certain sum that'll change a contract, so it's there, but I don't believe in it too much.
Right, so I think we spoke about Formula 1, Formula E and YouTube quite a bit. That's what we know you of. YouTube, Formula 1, Formula E. We want to know the Dan behind the camera.
The Dan.
Behind Formula 1, right?
Scary.
The Dan. So you mentioned a couple of times, and you mentioned on your Q&As, that you're at university. So what are you studying at uni, and how long have you got left before you graduate from university?
Oh, that's scary, thinking about graduating.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I am studying business management. That's what I'm studying. Something a little bit different than Formula One. Something completely not related to my channel, but then I didn't know Aldas was doing biometric sciences or whatever it was. I thought, blimey, where's that come from? So
I didn't know that either.
So a little bit left of field.
I was like, oh right, I know nothing about that, mate. I've got no questions about that, but I'll just go, how long have you got left?
I'm in my second year. So technically I will graduate next year. I'm a little bit older than the people on my course, because I did a few extra years at sixth form to get some better A-levels, or some A-levels. But I'm at a brilliant uni. I don't want to give away the location, but it's close to home. It's in the countryside, which is me down to a T. And actually, what I'd love to do at the end of my degree is do a bit of teacher training as well. I'd love to do that, primary school teaching at some stage. So At the moment, I'm a bit of an open book, to be honest with you. And I know there's a lot of pressure for young people these days. You must decide your career when you're 7 years old and follow that path.
Yeah.
Where I'm in a lucky situation almost, where I've got so many different avenues I can go down, and I don't. So for me, I mean, I don't want to give you too much. That's a bit boring. But for me, I do a little bit different with the uni life because I don't actually live on campus or in the city. I still live at home. So things like going out, being in societies, that's not really what I'm there for, because I've got uni, part-time job, YouTube. So my uni experience is a little bit different. So to be honest, I know it's November now, so I imagine a few of you are doing university applications at the moment, folks listening. What I would just say, just a tiny bit of advice, and I always say this to people my brother's age who's a little bit younger, just if you do go to uni, just make it your own. You'll always hear about people wanting to go out, you must join this society, you must do this. Just as long as you understand that you're happy and you enjoy what you're doing, and hey, I travel in, I drive in every day, I absolutely love it. I have my little parking space, and so yeah, so
reserved.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Grosjean army.
Exactly. So yeah, but I really enjoy my degree, and this year as well, there's lots of crossover with YouTube marketing and branding and that kind of thing. So if in my dream scenario, YouTube doesn't work out, if teaching I can't find a job and I'm a business manager somewhere, I enjoy that. So I'm a happy bunny.
You've got like you said, there are loads of different routes you could go down as well. Which one would you prefer to do though?
Oh, easy. I would love to. I'd love YouTube to take me somewhere. Just.
I was hoping you'd say your uni course, but no, I knew you were going to say YouTube, but I thought I would ask anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but, even just the opportunities Formula E are giving me already, I
think it's brilliant. But
I love that
brilliant
so
what
much
Formula
more.
E you're doing. Definitely keep it up. Really do keep it up. So, what other sports are you into, rather than Formula 1 and Formula E? If you are interested in any, by the way, I'm not expecting you to be.
That's okay. That's okay. I like football. I know quite a bit about football. I'm just not a die-hard supporter of a club, which sounds very strange. So, I used to support Chelsea as a little kid, but then when they started getting hundreds and millions of players in I'd never heard of, didn't like them as much. I then thought I'd be edgy as a little kid and pick a championship team, and I picked Swansea, which, you know, Jordan, is nowhere near where I live. It's nowhere near where I live.
Very true.
But I like the badge. I like the badge and the name. So, a 10-year-old Dan was a strange kid. So I kind of support Chelsea and I kind of support Swansea, and I keep up to date with those two. But I know this is sacrilege for football fans having two clubs. But then I look at Liverpool and I quite like them. I like Spurs because they have quite an English core. So I'm more of a casual fan, if that makes sense.
I was about to say as well, because like there's no fixed team you are like you support. It's kind of like Formula 1, isn't it? It's like I know you're a Grosjean fan, of course, but I would presume that you would want to do so that you would want, I don't know, Perez to do well and Racing Point to do well, or McLaren to do well. You know what I mean? Like I say McLaren's my team, but I'm like I want Ferrari to do well. I want Force it. Oh my god! I need to Force India. Really? I know. There's a comment. Oh, you said Force India. It's going to get complicated next year with Alpha Tauri. Alpha Tauri. That's going to be a nightmare. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for next season. But like you just like, all right, Swansea won, brilliant, good for them.
Yeah.
Formula 1 next.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. You said earlier as well. Again, just moving on from personal things. You said that you're a Star Wars fan.
Big sweaty,
Yes. So like I think you said on some of your videos that you're a bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
Is that something like Star Wars as well? I think you said that you're a bit of a fan of the Marvel series when I said I wasn't. And you were like, oh, what? I was like, oh no, what have I said?
Nah, don't worry.
It's alright. So like you're a fan of like that kind of I don't know what to call it, like
sci-fi genre kind of thing.
Sci-fi, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's alright.
Have you been a fan of that all your life?
You know what? So I'm not a big fan of, even though I just sort of helped you out with the question, I'm not a big fan of the sci-fi genre.
Oh, right.
So like even Marvel films.
I didn't word this question
That's
properly.
okay. That's okay. I knew what you meant. Even Marvel films, I like them, but I can easily miss one. But
Yeah.
a little bit like Formula One for me. When I like something, I need to know everything about it. Which sounds a little bit extreme, but Formula One and Star Wars and Game of Thrones to a degree are the three for me.
Right.
I have to know everything, and I will. So like Star Wars, I will read the books. I will look into the lore. That sounds so sad. I can't believe I'm saying that. But a little bit like
No,
Formula
it's fine.
One, where you look into the history of Formula One. I like doing that with Star
Yeah.
Wars as well. And yet I'm a bit of a sweaty. Sadly, I would say I've been a fan of Star Wars longer than Formula One. And there was at one time a question whether I do a Formula One channel or a Star Wars channel. Glad I went the Formula One route.
Oh, if you said Star Wars,
All right, yeah,
that wouldn't have went well.
yeah.
Not at all.
I mean, exactly. But hey, I'm going to see Rise of Skywalker at midnight. I always go and watch the films at midnight. Next week,
Oh.
I'm glad we're not filming this next week because The Mandalorian comes out and Fallen Order. So
Oh,
Yeah.
so definitely doing this at the right time.
Yeah,
Because you would
exactly.
be like, oh, I can't record because I'm going to do this and do that. And I'm,
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, right, okay.
yeah. So yeah, big
So,
sweaty.
well, since you're a Star Wars fan, I'm not a Star Wars fan, okay?
That's okay.
Yeah, very controversial, I know, but what I will ask you is, what is your favourite Star Wars? What's the best one?
Nah, I feel like you're setting me up for people to get angry at me today.
No, I'm just thinking. I don't have any of these wrote down because
That's cool.
I didn't. I think I knew you were a casual I think I knew you were a casual Star Wars fan, but now I've just learnt that you're a big Star Wars fan. So I've just
Yeah,
thought,
that's cool, man.
right. Okay, let's ask him this.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's why I was looking forward to doing this because I never really find the time to talk about this, and I always feel awkward talking about myself. I feel it's wrong. But
I'm literally doing about 5 weekly Q&As, so you may as well stop the series like for another couple of weeks because I'm just picking everyone's questions. I apologise. I'm being greedy.
that's cool. My favourite is Rogue One, which
Isn't that the?
that's the spin-off one, which
It's
is
a spin-off.
Yeah.
That came out a few years back. Yeah.
I love that film.
yeah.
I will religiously watch that film.
Now, I was expecting you to say something like from like the 1980s or 1990s.
Yeah, everyone says that. And
Now,
it's weird.
very surprising.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
might
your
get,
normal
oh,
Star Wars fan.
you don't like that one, do you?
Exactly.
In the
That's
comments.
that's
Oh,
why I was
no.
annoyed when you asked the question because I knew
Yeah,
no
sorry.
one would agree.
I might edit this bit out.
That's all right.
No, that'll be alright. That'll be good. So yeah, I think well, you know, like what you like. If people don't like it, then or like what you like, then just let them be.
Yeah, and I try not to jam it down people's throats. It's like the Formula E.
No.
I don't try and force people to watch
Yeah,
it.
oh,
And
no.
Formula One, can I still just say, Formula One is still my number one. That is God tier.
Yeah, it's-
Just so people know. I sounded a bit overexcited then about Star Wars. I do love it, but Formula One, that's still the
Formula
God
One is the
tier.
pinnacle. Pinnacle. I've got some fan questions for you.
Awesome.
People have actually responded, got some questions in for you, which that's probably the most heart racing moment because I don't want to go right. Okay, so next up is the fan questions.
There's none.
I've got none. There's none. Okay, but luckily we do.
Awesome.
I know a few people have sent in various questions, but I'm only going to pick one from each. At Kirill and at F1, well, Mike from F1 Fanatics.
Mikey boy.
They've sent me 3 questions, so I want to choose one. I want to go with the Mike's question first, and I'm going to pick which one should I go for? What the third question that he sent in, which was well, he says what is his? What is your favourite fan interaction? Is it F1 2019 lobbies, weekly Q&As, Twitter, YouTube comments? Like, what's your best way of interacting with fans?
That's a really good question.
I
Man,
think they're good questions, Mike.
yeah.
He's good at that. He's good.
That's awesome. I could be boring and say all of them are great because they are, and
Yeah.
I will never stop saying it's just so surreal. Just anyone just messaging and interested, even the ones that hate me. I understand that myself. I do sometimes. I think my favourite. I love the Q&A, But
Yeah.
the F1 open lobbies, I know it's just a race, but being a little kid before I started YouTube, trying to, when the likes of Arava or Into the Barrier said, "Oh, I'm going to do an open lobby now. Join quick." And I'd be like, "Oh, quick, 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 quick! Join, 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 join! Invite
Stop
me,
whatever
please."
you're doing.
Yeah. To be able to do that now, and the first time I did it, it was just a practice run, and people joined, and I did it last week, and I had a full lobby, and for me, it's just almost just. I know it sounds so stupid, but it's just a silly little milestone where I think, wow, I never thought people would want to join my lobby. People are usually sending me rage messages when I'm on my personal account, telling me how rubbish I am. So I really do enjoy that, and being able to actually talk to people with my voice rather than just behind the keyboard, I think is really nice. But also, I will just add to that, and I don't know if you're going, mate, but if you're not, I would really recommend it. Go into Autosport International in January of this year. Just being able to meet a few different YouTubers, a few different people, that was really cool, because a big thing for my channel is, I suppose a big thing, some people care, others don't, is I don't want to show my face, more because I don't think it really matters, so it just becomes that extra bit more personal when I'm able to meet someone and talk to them, and they can physically shout at me for being a Grosjean fan rather than just commenting.
I think, personally, yes, with me, I think I'm going to the Autosport.
Awesome.
In January. I think I am anyway. I hope I am. And then, if I ever stumble across you, well, I think you'll have to go me and go, "Oh, hi, Don, it's Dan."
That's a good point.
Because I'll be like, I might just go, "Are you Dan? No? Are you Dan? No? Are you Dan? No?"
Well, usually I'm the only one wearing a Grosjean top or a Grosjean hat. That's usually a giveaway.
Yes, of course. So if I see like a big banner that says Grosjean with a big arrow pointing towards you, I'll be like, "That's Dan."
That's a good point. I will just like to clear this up. So many people were messaging me about that guy at Cota this weekend with my my Heart Will Grosjean sign. That is not me.
Yeah.
That so many people messaging me. Is that me? No, I can't afford to go to America. You dummies. So no, that is not me. Just wanted to clear that up.
Just to clarify, this is definitely not. This isn't Dan. The next question from Kirill. Now, we've had a bit of a laugh, haven't we, for about nearly an hour. Wow! Oh my god! This is what I loved doing about this series. Just casual chatting as well, talking, listening. It's absolutely brilliant. A bit of a serious question for this one. He actually put it in brackets. Serious one. Any experiences with mental health issues?
That is a serious question.
It is a serious question. Yeah.
I'm not too sure if I'm going to answer that one, to be honest with you, mate.
No, I'm not. I'm not expecting you to. No.
But what I will say actually is Antoine Hubert's death. That was quite big for me.
Was it?
Yeah,
that did hit a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, for most of us, for most of us, maybe you included. I don't really know, but for me, even the Bianchi one, because we didn't witness it. Like, I was watching the F2 race, and also I was a big fan of Hubert as well, which I know that doesn't really mean a fat lot. But I did a few F2 videos at the beginning of the year, and I kept on saying, "Oh, I love this guy. I think he'll make it to F1."
So you had like
that bit of a connection.
Yeah, I was about to say as well, because like it is almost like a family. The family you've never met. Formula 1, Formula 2. It's weird to explain. Like when Jules passed, I just couldn't believe it, because I've never experienced death in Formula 1 as like a current driver.
Yeah.
I think I remember when Jack Brabham passed in 14, I believe. Even John Surtees in 17, I was like a bit like shocked, even though I never met them, I never seen them race. But I was like, oh god, you never hear it in Formula 1. But Jules was a big one, because it was the first one for me, and I was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And Hubert, I thought was even more of a shock, because I was just about to watch the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying because I'd been at work, so I completely missed the results. I completely missed what had happened, and then just before, I think the intro came on for Channel 4 highlights, and I get a notification on my phone saying Hubert, F2 driver, killed.
Yeah.
I was just absolutely obviously I didn't want to go and ruin as selfish as it sounds. I didn't want to go and ruin the qualifying results because I wanted to watch qualifying. But
yeah,
I was just like, I'm just how.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
so many questions.
Yeah, for me, I was I watched quali, and then I was recording I was doing my my editing. I'll say that in quotation marks because my editing isn't a fat lot. And while I was just typing in the numbers of the laps, I had the F2 race on in the corner, and I was watching it. I thought, I'll watch the first couple of laps, but just the instant reaction. Just you saw for half a second the crash, cameras off. 2 seconds later, thanks for watching Formula 2. See you later. Black screen. And that instant feeling of knowing
you know something's wrong. Yeah,
exactly. And like I say, I mean, some of the responses. I mean, I wasn't awful, but for a few weeks, man, I just didn't want to do any videos. Doing that Belgian Grand Prix race review was awful. Yeah. I hated that. I won't listen back to that.
I mean, credit where it's due because you still did it.
Yeah, I didn't want to, but also I wanted to, say my piece.
I know some people didn't do their original content. I think a few people kind of stopped their reviews, or I think Sean didn't do a live stream, or he didn't do anything that day.
I mean, I demonetized. I thought that would. I mean, it sounds so silly. Yeah, but I just wanted to say my piece, and to be honest, some of the message. I mean, some close friends, different YouTubers, and they were lovely. They were really nice. I mean, that's the nice side of this community.
Yeah,
the older ones as well. I mean, that had seen the likes of Senna before, and because obviously, this sounds dreadful, but because it was my first experience, they helped me through it so much. And I know a lot of people out there were similar kind of thing. So I don't want to get all too soppy because obviously it was dreadful, and what I felt was it's so insignificant compared to his family, but that obviously for me was a big thing, and I know for a lot of people, younger fans, that was a big thing as well.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. And the thing is though about Hugh Bear is that I always make a joke about his name, obviously before he died, obviously, but I would always make fun of his name because I used to always think it was Herbert at first glance.
Yeah.
Antoine Herbert. Or like Jonathan Herbert. Johnny Herbert. I used to always say that. I used to always think that. So and then, obviously, when the news is confirmed and stuff, he just you need to know what the hell's going on and stuff. But obviously, like I said before, you were still very mentally stable to go through it as well. Obviously, you would have had some dark times and stuff. But credit where it is due. You managed to get through it, fought through the worst of it, and you're still here.
Yeah, and like I say, I wasn't awful, but I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. Moving on to something quite on a bit of a lighter tone, on a better tone, let's just say.
Cool.
And you had a bit of banter with this guy when he asked the question at Williams Gaming 1. You'll probably know who I'm on about.
I do.
Sam, he says, why did he rage in Subscriber Championship?
I'm so glad.
I'm not too familiar with this one, so I'll let you take the lead as to what he means by that.
Yeah. Hi Sam, if you're listening. So, this is old channel stuff. This is good old We Mad Bros kind of territory.
We Mad Bros. That's the right. Just quickly before you answer, that's the first thing I'm doing as soon as we've done this. We Mad Bros. I'm going straight to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, some of it's cringe.
In fact, as well. In return, I'll tell you my old channel.
Good man. That's what we want to hear. Good.
Off record.
That's cool. I understand that. I probably wouldn't have told you about We Mad Bros if it wasn't in one of my early videos. So back in the We Mad Bros days, I must have been on about 800 subscribers, and although the little kids wanted Minecraft, I wanted to do F1. And you may have heard, I don't know how much F1 gaming stuff you watch on YouTube, but a guy named FoxyDude98, I said that so bad. FoxyDude98 is better English. He was starting a series called Subscriber Championship, and me and Sam Williams Gaming, small YouTubers. So Sam Williams Gaming is a YouTuber, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he sent me a message as well as soon as he asked that question. Just like, if you ever want some guests on your show, I know two, and I'm one of them. I was like,
nice lads,
definitely.
Nice lads, especially once you get to know them. That sounds bad, like they're or first impressions. But no, really,
I checked out the
nice
channels
guys,
as well.
yeah.
So yeah, go and subscribe to both their channels. I think Sam's is Williams Gaming, and of course you got Foxy Dude 98. Yeah,
Yeah.
Go check them out.
And he did a subscriber championship, and hey, there was I'd say there's a core group, about 5 of us that became good friends during that. I was quite young during this, and there are a few ragey moments from myself, as most little kids do. And yeah, it got to the stage, there was a bit of a crash, bit of an incident. I did a little rage quit, and that was it, to be honest. Yeah, so I think it's a bit of a jokey question from Sam. I've kept in contact loosely with most of them. And I did a podcast with Sam, actually, and I never put it out. And I felt awful because he did really well, and I thought I was just so bad. I was awful. I didn't know what I was doing. So, yeah, good people. And
that is hard to believe, though, without... I know. Like, I'm not just saying this because you're talking to us now, but that is very hard to believe, because I believe that you're quite good at wording things and saying words. I know this was like back in the day, but
when it was
like
rage,
even in like your older videos, you still sounded all right.
Well, when I say rage quit, I wasn't like swearing or angry. I just press quit. That was it.
Yeah.
It's not a rage quit. It's just a quit. That was what
right.
It was.
That's it.
Because I don't think during the races I'd go on the mic with them. I would just sit listening to a podcast or something in the background and just play F1, and I crashed and I thought, oh yeah, I've had enough of that. Quit. So it's not as bad as he was making it out, but yes, that was cheeky, Sam. No, thank you.
Oh man. I must. Yeah, I think. I mean, well, would you ever do a series like that on your channel?
Well, to be honest, so Foxy Dude 98, his name's Tom. It's easier saying Tom than Foxy Dude 98 every time. Listening to his experience with it, it was so difficult to manage, and I mean, it was practically a league, an F1 league, pretty much. And for him, some of them were, I assume, they'd commented on his videos for a long time. They came into lobbies, they would crash, because don't get me wrong, this wasn't top tier racing. This was very dirty, disgusting racing, half of it. So hence why it got a little bit raging, a little bit tense.
That's why I tried to get in online racing about 2014, and every lobby I was in, I was just getting bombarded. And I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, so I'm happy doing open lobbies occasionally, but I think the effort to really set that up, and Tom really tried. He did an awesome job, I thought. As much as I think he kicks himself a little bit, I thought it was great. I have fond memories of doing that, even though Sam says I raged. I remember those with happy memories and silly races, and so, no, I don't think I would, but hey, never say never.
So, I can't interview you without talking about the main man, Romain Grosjean.
Indeed.
You're a fan of his. So, do you just want to quickly tell everyone, for those that don't know, because you have mentioned it before, as to why you're a Grosjean fan, but just in case those have missed it and they haven't seen that video yet, why is it that you are a Grosjean fan and you are the leader of the Grosjean army?
Indeed. Man, there's not many of us out there. There's not many Grosjean fans
I must admit.
there. It's a dangerous game as well, being a Grosjean fan. It's a fairly long story, but I know we're getting on a little bit, so I'll keep it as brief as I can. So, as we said earlier, I was a Formula 1 fan pretty much from 2007. My favourite driver at the time, because I quite liked an underdog. I've always quite liked an underdog story. I picked Robert Kubica, which is actually awesome that he's back in Formula 1 now. He's not my favourite driver anymore. Still love the guy and his journey. But yeah, I picked Robert Kubica. So 2007, 2008, I was big BMW, big Robert Kubica, that victory in Canada. Loved it, man. And I think that really helped me actually get into Formula 1, was Kubica's success. Then eventually 2010 moved to Renault, and then 2011 he had his accident, and because I was 10, I wasn't really keeping up with the news. I didn't really know where he'd gone. I didn't quite understand why he wasn't on the grid, so I just stayed with Renault. I was like, well, Kubica drove for Renault, I'll stay with Renault. They became Lotus Renault, then they became Lotus 2012. Like I said earlier, when I loved Formula 1 because I really love Lotus. Everything about them. Kimi Räikkönen, the god at the time. I bought all the tops, all the hats, everything. I was in love with Kimi Räikkönen. And then there was this other guy in the car who couldn't stop crashing. And it was just funny to little Dan. The driver in my team would always crash, but if he wasn't crashing, he was on the podium and he was quick. Then at the end of 2013, when Räikkönen betrayed us, unreal. I know they didn't pay him, but there was a big debate there. But Grosjean stayed with the team, so I thought, I'll support Grosjean, and I wasn't a fan of Maldonado. I wanted Hulkenberg to get that seat, and he didn't. I felt betrayed. So it was just almost like a natural progression that Grosjean became my favourite driver. And then, the icing on the cake, my first ever Grand Prix. And I know you've asked a few different people about their Grand Prix. I've been to 3 Grand Prix in my life and 1 E-Prix. So the Rome E-Prix, spoke about that earlier on. Silverstone 2019, Silverstone 2017, and my first ever Grand Prix, Spa 2015. Now, Jordan, can you tell me who was on the podium for Spa 2015?
Well, it must have been a certain Frenchman.
It was
Romain
a certain
Grosjean,
Frenchman,
I believe.
Man. It was. I could not believe it.
That's where it all started.
Well, yeah, because I'd followed Grosjean those years before, and it was such a dog of a car in 2014. It was so bad, but Grosjean was my man at that point. My wallpaper was Grosjean, loved him. Then went to 2015, and actually, bit of a funny story. I had a bit of an accident before 2015 Spa, and I dislocated my knee. When I said I had an accident, then it sounded like I weed myself or something. No, I dislocated my knee, so I was on crutches, and we weren't sure if I was going to even be able to make it to the Grand Prix, because obviously I didn't know if I'd be able to fly or not. And the week before, I wasn't even walking. I couldn't walk, and my dad said, "Look, you're going to have to walk, mate, or we can't go." So I'd really tried, and I was trying to use these crutches, and I couldn't do it. But anyway, I just about was walking by the time we got to Spa the weekend. Got on the plane, got over there. My knee was still a bit dodgy. And we got to the track, and you've been to Monza, haven't you? I don't know about Spa.
Yeah, I've been to Monza, yeah.
Yeah, have you been to Spa, though? Sorry.
No, I haven't.
So when you get to the circuit, it's just a giant valley. You walk down the hill, and pretty much you meet turn 1. And it was so long, man. It's about a half an hour walk from the car park to the track. So I was dying. Wow. I was dying. On crutches, my first Grand Prix. But the worst thing, and I'm so glad it was my first Grand Prix, our seats were at the top of Eau Rouge. So for my first Grand Prix, I have climbed Eau Rouge on crutches.
Not many people can say that they've done that.
No, exactly. And then that whole weekend, going into the weekend, my Team Lotus that I went to see, bought all the tops and everything while I was there. They went into, they didn't even know if they were going to race. They showed up with no money. The bailiffs were there. It was awful. Oh, yeah. Grosjean got 4th on the grid, then had a grid penalty, and then in the race, that final lap Sebastian Vettel tyre explode. I think that's the pinnacle of my life. That tyre explode from Sebastian Vettel on the last lap. I'm screaming about Grosjean. And that was the first year that Max Verstappen was in Formula 1 as well. So it was just Max. It was Toro Rosso fans and one Grosjean fan in the grandstand. It was a strange one.
I just picture it now, like the Verstappen grandstand, just a sea of like purple and orange, just one little guy in the middle on crutches, with his crutches in the air. Grosjean, and it's just like Lotus black and gold, and just like what?
But everyone loved it. Everyone was screaming,
stares, like,
and man. That was peak. So yeah, and then ever since, I mean, obviously 2015 Lotus vanished. Still hurts me. In 2016, I was a bit of a neutral. I thought, I don't know if I want to follow Grosjean to Haas, or if I don't know if I want to, support another team, go back to Renault kind of thing. I stuck with Grosjean, and for 2016 and 17, it was lovely. For 2018, far too many crashes.
It hasn't been good, has it, in recent years for Grosjean, has it?
Yeah, and I know someone asked a question why they kept him for 2019. The honest answer is, I don't have a clue. I don't know why they're keeping him for 2020. I'm sure that consistency is brilliant and his experience, but hey, the Grosjean army, we love it. So
it was nearly gone. It was almost like, how is Dan going to survive?
Yeah.
But no, the Grosjean army goes on for another year.
Yeah, that was my favourite video, by the way. Just being able to announce that Grosjean was staying for 2020.
I just
love that.
As soon as I heard the announcement lineup, one guy came to my head. I thought, Dan. I was standing going, right, in my head, I've got Dan sitting at his computer right now, just the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah.
There'll be times in life, he might have children, he'll get married, he'll start, have a house or whatever.
That was
and
better.
he'll have big smiles on his face. But this will be the biggest smile of it all.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%. That was right
So
up there with
what
that Spa podium. Right up there.
Oh yes. That'll be your second biggest smile ever. Something I didn't mention when I was going through the plans of how the episode was going to pan out, because normally like I said before, I'll go through the questions with the people and who I'm interviewing, and they'll go, oh yeah, that's fine. Brilliant.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't mention though is that I've got a little quiz for you, Dan. I've got 5 questions, all about Romain Grosjean.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh yes.
Okay. Oh, right.
So I thought I know I've asked you a few questions randomly, but these ones are planned. I think it was probably I think I had, obviously, F1 Dream Team was the first thing I thought. And of course Grosjean, I had to talk about him.
Yeah.
But then I went, you know what? Let's put a bit of a twist on it. Let's see how much of a Grosjean fan he actually is.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, okay, so the first question is how old is Romain Grosjean as of 2019?
32.
33.
He's just had his birthday.
Oh, you were close though, I'll give you that.
I'll take that.
Second question is, how many podiums does
10.
Grosjean have?
10, and I will say, one more than Charles Leclerc. There you go.
Straight. Oh yes. Oh, that stat actually came out quite recently, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh right.
And
straight away with that one.
Just for all you Hulkenberg fans, 10 more than Hulkenberg. There you are.
Oh, straight in the heart. Straight in the heart. Well done, Dan.
No
there goes that
prisoners.
podcast. The third question is, true or false? Romain Grosjean has competed in the 24-hour Le Mans.
False.
It's actually true.
I should know that.
I didn't even know this when I was doing the research.
right.
I thought I'll get some simple questions up for him, and I seen this one. Apparently it was in 2010. He DNF'd apparently.
Oh well, that's no surprise, is it?
Exactly. Question 4: Where did Romain Grosjean make his F1 debut?
I should know this. I know it's 2009. I know it's with Renault. I know he replaced PK.
Yeah.
Man, I was 9 years old.
I do apologize. But saying that, every time I think of this Grand Prix, I always think of Grosjean 09. I don't know why. It's just the first thing that pops in my head. It's not Alonso.
Yeah.
Oh, I nearly gave it away there. I nearly gave it away.
No, because I know he crashed where PK crashed in Singapore, but I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he was in Valencia, but I don't know if that was just a practice session. I'll go Singapore because that's on my mind, but I think that's too late in the season. I'll go 2009 Singapore.
You should have said European Grand Prix because you would have been right. Because I nearly said because when I said before, whenever I think about this race, I think of Grosjean 09. I nearly said not Alonso 12. I nearly gave it away.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, don't say it. In question 5, I don't know if you know this one, but a bit of a factual on this answer.
Well, I've not done very well so far.
Why does Romain Grosjean drive with the number 8 on his car?
Well, it's because it's my favourite number.
Is it? Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's not actually.
Is it not?
Do I know this? I think I know this.
Go on.
But it's not coming to me right now. Can I remember? Is it? No, it's not coming to me. No, I'll have to pass on that one.
Pass on that one. It's simply because he likes the number.
Oh, there you go.
Basically, yeah. Well, it says on his bio that I think his son was born on the 8th. He met his girlfriend in 2008. He got married on the 28th, I think, or whatever. Like, there's big moments in his life where it's close to the number 8, and that's why he chose it. So I thought, yeah, let's.
And
I thought, yeah. So
I think in like
five
Formula
questions.
Asia, he had number 8 as well. Like you say, there's lots of little reasons. That's me
Yeah,
attempting
there is.
to, say I know something about him.
You know something as well, but nevertheless, I know you are still a huge Grosjean
I
fan.
don't know now.
Oh
don't know
no,
now.
I haven't. Oh no, don't say I'm the reason I've killed the Grosjean army.
I don't know.
No.
I knew
can't
the
live with
podiums.
myself.
That's pretty important, and more than Leclerc. That's all I need.
As well, just moving on from the fan questions. Of course, if anybody did ask the question, and I didn't ask it. I do apologise. Maybe Dan might see them. It's on Twitter or YouTube or whatever. You might answer them.
Yeah, we'll do.
Or even put those questions to Dan in his weekly Q&A.
Or below, and I will comment. I will respond
or below.
to
Yes,
comments on
good
this
one.
video.
Why didn't I think of that? See what I mean? Everyone else is just one step ahead of me. One step ahead. So the future of your channel. You said earlier that you've got other options as well, university, and also as well. Yes, I just want to quickly mention as well. I've just sprung into my head.
That's cool.
When I was on about the personal thing, I didn't ask this as well, but you mentioned it before about you work with your family, I believe. You said?
Yeah.
In the family business, is it?
Yeah, it is. So, little bucket
That's like your
and spade
part-time
shop.
job,
Yeah. Worked there since I was 13, which is kind of illegal, but we don't tell people that.
No.
So all of you watching, no thanks, no reporting me.
I'll when you say 13, I'll just go 17.
Yeah, you edited that bit. I'm sure.
Don't you worry about that.
So I've worked there a long time, man. And hey, if you're ever down my way and you're in a beach shop, you might be served by F1 reviews. Hey,
yes. Well, if I'm ever down your way, and yes, down the coast, I'll quickly send you a message. Hey, what's the name of that shop? I need a bucket and spade.
Exactly.
Just for me though, I want to build sandcastles.
Yeah, it's not glamorous work. The staff is myself,
but it's
my mum and my nan.
It's money.
So well, it's not really. Yeah. It's more that's just been the way that our family have always done it. Just run the business, and because I'm now at university and the summer is so long. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm spending all my money on. Tuition fees. It's half the year's nothing. So it more just gives me something to do. Just to get out and see people, and also as well, it's helped me massively doing YouTube, just having those interactions with the public, the worst people, the real dregs, and lovely people like yourself, Jordan.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, it is what it is. But as much as it's hard work and a pain sometimes, I do love it.
Good. So, where do you want to be with your channel? Let's say you fully commit to YouTube. Do you want to have a career in YouTube, or do you want to be a pundit, let's say, or a commentator, for example, or something on the lines of that?
Yeah.
Whether that's in Formula 1 or Formula E, because I know you do both.
Yeah.
Is that something? Is that like a goal for you? Is that like your dream in a way?
I'd say in terms of goals for the channel, just quickly first. This is going to sound cringy, man, but as long as I'm enjoying it, this sounds so soppy. As long as I'm enjoying it, I don't really care. So, if next year I earn 10 subscribers, as long as I'm having fun chatting waffle about Formula 1 and Formula E, that's my main priority. Because the day I finish a Formula 1 race and think, oh, I have to do a review, that's when I know I need to stop. That's when I know I can't be myself, can't say silly words, can't have fun. And then the people don't have fun, and it all just becomes a mess. So as long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters. And I'm way past any kind of subscriber goal or view goal I ever had. So for that, I couldn't really... Obviously, it's nice the more you get, but I don't mind all that much. And actually, I'll quickly just say my only goal I had from the channel, first of all, I imagine like you, was to one day hit 1,000 subscribers. Because that's still insane. But also was to hit 63,000 views, which sounds a strange number, but I wanted to hit the same amount of views as the population of my town, just so I could visualise how many individual people that would have taken to watch my video, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if I don't know, if I hit 63,000 subscribers, I don't know, in 10 years or so, then that would be awesome as well. But in terms of career, I mean, yeah, it'd be lovely to do YouTube full time.
Yeah, it would be. Wouldn't it?
But then talking to Chamber, Alex Zaffro, Sean. Nearly forgot Sean there. That'd have been awkward. Yeah. Sorry, mate. I know how stressful it can be sometimes with YouTube being your career, and you know, I mean, you're at the stage now where you can earn a little bit of pennies. But, I mean, we're both at the stage now where it's just not a lot.
Just a little. I'm talking like shrapnel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Likewise. But even I know it's so unreliable that the estimates are. I mean, if you go on Social Blade, it'll tell you I'm earning between £200 and 600 million practically. So
wow.
I mean, not quite that much.
That's a close gap.
But yeah, it's a bit unpredictable. So hey, if I could be the Will Buxton of Formula E, or hey, if I could steal Will Buxton's job and do paddock pass, that'd be brilliant. But
I love that. Right, just a quick one. Ted Kravitz's notebook or paddock pass?
Man, notebook.
Notebook.
Oh well,
I'm sorry for asking you these random questions, but literally, I'm just getting so many questions just popping in my head.
That's
I'm like,
cool.
Let's ask this.
I prefer paddock pass, but I would prefer to do notebook, if that makes sense.
Yes, I know.
I always look forward to a paddock pass, but they're both good. Both good.
I really do like paddock pass. So final question is a question I ask everyone I interview. Which is your F1 dream team? This is just like a little fun thing that we do at the end. I know when people do podcasts and stuff, they'll ask something like a real funny personal question or whatever, and this is something I want to do. I think it was the first idea when I had the series idea. It was the first idea thing I wanted to do. Right? Yeah. Okay. At the very end, I'll start at the end. Right. This is what I want to do at the end. But now, first of all, I need to think of questions. So your F1 dream team, Dan. So I want 2 drivers, 1 car from F1 from 1950 till present day, and 1 team boss.
Okay. I can't lie. I've had to think about this. This is one of my favourite bits of the show. And
this is why I plan. Why I go to people first. Okay, this is how the video's gonna pan out. Just so that you think of questions, and especially the F1 Dream Team, because this is the pinnacle question.
This is the peak.
This is the moment everyone waits for.
And I think so far, when the very first episode you did this, and I had an inkling, you might have sent me a message if I wanted to be on. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my team, just in case.
Wow.
Just in case.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man.
That's so good.
Yeah.
You are a real big. I think you're the first fan of a real fan of the series.
Super fan.
I know people do. Yeah, you are a super fan. You're. Make a little fan group or something like F1 YouTubers Decoded fan page or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, wow. And I think so far there's been no overlap with drivers. I don't think anyone's picked the same driver twice.
I'm trying to think of who. The thing is, with people, like, I'll go, oh yeah, I remember that, but then I'm like, okay, Aldas said the R26. Raz said the Brawn, and then I think for Chaz I said Schumacher for one of his drivers. But which car did he say? I can't remember. I'm always thinking about, before I record, whether I'm in my van driving or whatever. I'm constantly thinking of, okay, Chaz said this and Aldas said that. And, but I can't remember when he said this. I'm just going over it just so if people do ask me one day and go, okay, so who said what about their dream team, and I'll go, can't remember.
I think it was this.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, so your dream team.
Yeah, so cool. Like I said, I decided this weeks ago, and you said something when you were talking to Raz, and I instantly knew you will like my dream team. So, first of all, team manager. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. People have said Ron Dennis. People have said Jean Todt. Yes. It's got to be old Gunter Steiner. It's got to be Gunter Steiner.
Oh, of course.
Come on.
Of course. I know.
Come on, Aldas, man. Chaz, what are you doing? Of course it's Gunter. Car.
Steiner, yeah.
Car, I've got to go with the E21. 2013 Lotus. Love that baby. Love that baby.
It is a beautiful car. I remember watching the live stream, the struggle it was to try and find a live stream to watch that car being launched.
Still is to find launches.
Oh, I know, right?
Pain.
Mid-January or end of January 2013. Oh man, the struggle.
Yeah, man.
Just trying to find the launch of that car.
Yeah,
anyways, yeah.
Love that car. Not necessarily the best, but black, gold, bit of red. Love it.
It was beautiful.
Drivers, I'm not putting in Grosjean. I can't.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I thought you would.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, Dan, you've let me down.
We can't afford
I'm sorry.
it.
That's it. This interview, it's over.
The
It's
team
gone.
can't
Everything we've just
afford
talked
it.
about, it's gone.
We can't afford it, man. We can't afford the damages. I want to pick a team
That
that's
is
going to
true.
win.
That is very sensible.
But I
Yes.
think I'll redeem myself. My first driver, greatest of all time, Jim Clark. Jim Clark in that car.
The first person to say that, yes.
Guaranteed. He was the first name that popped in my head. 100%. Most Grand Slams.
Absolutely.
The real GOAT. Second driver,
Yes.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh,
Daniel
that is-
Ricciardo.
that is surprising.
Danny Rick's great. He's not the quickest of all time. I'll give you that. But what he gives you is that bit of flair on the track, awesome overtakes, and what a personality to have in the garage.
I was about to
Come
say as
on.
well, because I think Jim would be that more serious. He'll get you the results.
Yeah, he's your number
But
one.
Ricardo will get you the followers.
Exactly. He's getting that
On social media and
likability
stuff.
with the team.
Yes, he's like
Perfect
the
team.
happy go. He's like the jester of the team, and was like Jim's like the more serious kind of guy and stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
that is a very good choice.
Thank you, my friend.
No problem. And obviously, Jim Clark back in the Lotus.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I love Jim. Lotus OG, the real legend of Lotus.
Have you been to his to the Jim Clark house?
No.
Duns.
No, I'm
not?
not. No. I mean,
You need to
I'm
go.
too far away
I
from
went
these
once,
things.
and yes, that is very true.
Yeah, even
Why
Silverstone.
did I just ask that?
Trek, man.
You're all the way down in Devon.
Yeah.
That was a silly question to ask.
That's okay.
I thought it would anyway, because you never know. But if you ever up that way, if you are, which you might not be, but let's say you are, certainly go and check it out. It's just been revamped, just been done out again. I went probably about 2 weeks before it was supposed to close, to get it all done out. So I'm like, I've been waiting years and years to go to the house. Went to the house, brilliant, and then I've got another reason to go because it's been done out again. So I'm like,
Awesome.
Yes, need to go. But anyways, Dan, we spoke a lot in this episode. It's been the longest F1 YouTubers Decoded so far, nearly on 1 hour 20 minutes so far. But honestly, I have loved every single minute of this interview.
Thanks, man.
It's been so good. Really have enjoyed it. And if you are new round here, please go and subscribe to Dan's channel, F1/E Reviews. I'll be very surprised if you haven't. But if just in case you are new to the scene, you're randomly sitting in your bedroom, nothing to do, watching old boring videos, and you stumble across the channel, I'm not surprised. My channel, not Dan's, by the way. You come across, what's this F1 debate? You're rubbish. Watching this, going, I like this guy. Dan, not
Don't
me.
know about that.
Go and check out his channel as well. Links will be in the description below. So, Dan, I just want to say a huge thank you for doing the interview. Loved every single minute of it. I'm so pleased that you are a fan of the show as well. Fan of the Decoded series.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. I mean, I've been messaging with you the last couple of weeks or so. I could not wait for this, and I've loved it too.
Honestly, you really couldn't.
I really have. We've
thrilled.
talked some rubbish, don't get me wrong, but as long as
see,
people have enjoyed, they've had a bit of fun. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, exactly. And if people are listening to this and they have listened to the full 1 hour 20 odd minutes, then it's dedication where it's due. Credit where it's due. That is pure dedication.
Drop a subscribe just for that to the F1 debate show.
Yes, yeah. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. But anyways, Dan, thank you so much for being F1 YouTubers Decoded. Yes. So that's the episode with Dan. Go and check out the other episodes as well if you haven't already, with Chazza, Aldas, and Raz on F1. We've got one more, then this is the first series over with. Hopefully, we can get a second series, get some more people on the show, interview them, decode them. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we, unfortunately. But we can only hope, can't we? But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening as well. If you're new around here, then please drop a subscribe as well. Comment below about anything that we've said in this interview as well. Leave your opinions in the comment section below as well. Go and check out our content for the rest of the week. Of course, we've got the Brazilian Grand Prix coming up very soon, and then of course the finale of Formula 1. It's nearly over. The season's nearly over. Oh no, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go before I cry. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'll see you later.